Well, hello there, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and all other aviation fans. Welcome to the channel again, and if you're new, then, well, very welcome. This is a video in a new series that I would like to call Different, Unusual, and Difficult Approaches. And today we'll be looking at the RNAV arrival for runway 09 into Gibraltar. Now on itself, the arrival is not really that difficult or any special, but it has some weird quirks with it which needs a little bit more attention, and especially the meteorological parts of that. But we will be discussing that in the briefing room very shortly. First, as a little disclaimer, this will be a tutorial on the RNAV arrival and not really specifically on the aircraft. Basically, you can apply all of these things to your own aircraft of your liking, whether that's an Airbus A320 series, Boeing 737 or a little Cessna flying IFR. It is basically the same. Just the way how you plan everything else is different, of course, but I'm gonna assume that you know how to fly your favorite airliner or plane that you want to fly for this approach, and we'll just basically take a look at the general procedure. So without further ado, let's hop over to the briefing room, and then we will be discussing the RNAV arrival for 09 into Gibraltar, and when that is done, we'll be jumping back into the cockpit for the briefing inside the plane as done by airline crew. See you very soon. Alright guys, welcome to the briefing room. We are discussing the star at first, and like I mentioned before, we are flying from London Heathrow towards Gibraltar, which means that we are coming in from the north and be using the Pimos arrival there. So we're coming over at the Malaga VOR, and from there we will track a heading of 214 for 47 nautical miles. We need to be at least at flight level 65 before or at reaching Pimos. We cannot descend any lower than that. Now from Pimos we will be directly onto the RNAV arrival for runway 09, the civil one. And from Pimos we will track a heading of 258 for 17.3 nautical miles to a waypoint called Bukov. From Bukov we will go to Golf Bravo 092, then Golf Bravo 094, and Golf Bravo 09 Foxtrot, and then the final point, Golf Bravo 096. Okay, let's talk a little bit more about this part, which is basically the most critical and interesting part of this whole arrival. It starts over here. We have the arc of Golf Bravo 092. So at this point we're starting the arrival, and we are 10.4 nautical miles from touchdown. Coming down a little bit further to Golf Bravo 094, we keep on descending until eventually we reach a mandatory level of 1500 feet our altitude. Now this will be until Golf Bravo 09 Foxtrot. We might level off here a little bit for a short while, and from Golf Bravo 09 Foxtrot we will keep a continuous descent for 3 degrees until the runway. So the final fix will be Golf Bravo 096. If we don't have a visual of the runway at that point, we need to conduct a go around, and as you can see we're just a little bit closer than 1 nautical miles from touchdown at that point. We will set our and we will set our minimums over here for a category Charlie aircraft. What are we flying? We'll set an minimum altitude of 374. Now let's talk a little bit about the missed approach. We're not gonna be doing that today, but in case you will need to fly a missed approach, you'll continue straight down the runway, climb to 4,000 feet, follow final approach track to runway 09er, which I was saying, you continue to the runway, then I head to Golf Bravo Mike 02, which is the point at the runway 27, then to Cooksox and PMOX. At PMOX turn right, maximum speed is 230 knots, to up and then enter the holding at 4,000 feet or as instructed by ATC. We can see that part over here. We're coming into PMOS, turn right into up and we're holding here as instructed over here. The minimum altitude of 4,000 feet. As you can also see on this approach, we have from here for the turn we have a maximum speed of 160 knots. Now what I like to do before we are at this point, I would try to be fully configured at that point, have gear down, full flaps, and so we basically don't have to worry about any of that once we are making our turn. That's what I would like to do, especially I am on my own in the simulator. I don't have a co-pilot, so that I would recommend. Just try to keep to be ready and have your landing checklist completed at this point. Alright, let's talk about the special things of Gibraltar, which is of course the weather. That is what this all makes very interesting and dangerous and spectacular, etc. So in the simulator at the moment I set the wind for the main wind direction coming from the southeast, as is shown over here. Now this wind coming from the southeast will of course blow over this rock, and it will blow around the rock as well. There's an obstruction. So, and it will come over the rock and fall down on the other side. So of course then you can expect some turbulence to come over here on the other side. Now just at our final approach over here, you can see there is some turbulence, and the wind can actually turn around and fall down a little bit over here, which is to be expected. So still, even at very low altitude, just before touchdown, we can expect some changes in wind and might need to do a go around. Now I'm not actually in the simulator at the moment. We're not flying in real life weather. I set it up to be this runway or to be this wind direction. So I'm not sure how good this will be simulated actually, but we will see and try to make the most out of it. Now I also want to shortly discuss actually other wind directions, what the turbulence will be doing. If we have wind direction coming from the south, actually 170 to 200, you can expect the wind to blow around the rock and over top of it. So you can have winds coming from here and also from the other side towards the runway, and there is actually a little bit more turbulence on the runway 27. Wind coming from 200 to 250. Alright, this is also a little bit interesting. Now it's blown around the rock as well, and you can expect a lot of turbulence around runway 27 with some downdrafts in the beginning on the initial and then updraft on really around the threshold there. So just before you come down, you might just get some uplift there, and you will be struggling to get her down in time, and which might result in a go around. As I said before, we're having today the main wind direction coming from the southeast there, so this won't be applicable for us today. Then after that, let's have a short taxi instruction as well to complete our briefing. We are coming into land here. We use minimum auto brakes. We'll continue out and properly vacate via echo. There is no real taxi chart out here, so but we can use this one, Civil Apron, the taxi via Bravo. I will just take one of these stands. Okay, that is it for the approach briefing here. We'll discuss this a little bit more in the plane, how this is being applied into the in-plane briefing for the approach as well. Now let's get back to the cockpit and we'll see you right there. Alright, welcome back. We are nearing our top of descent right here. And let's do our approach briefing. Are you guys ready for the approach briefing? Alright. Looks like we have a weather, we're expecting weather direction 120 at 10 knots. Might be gusting 16 knots with a local QNH of 1011. The aircraft we're flying is an Airbus A319 with the CFM engines, and the routing as briefed before. In the briefing room will be the RNAV 09 arrival via PIMOS, and we'll be using LNAV and VNAV for this arrival. Any miscellaneous things here? Well, we have of course discussed the quick changes in wind that might be happening on approach, and also Gibraltar is known for some bird activities around the runway. Now let's check our routing into the FMC here. And we go to plan here. Let's put that 1 to 20 knots. And let's check that one. And there's PIMOS. And we'll get the charts out as well. Where are you? Aviator. Well, there you are. Let's open up the airport charts. No. Lima X-ray. Golf Bravo. There we go. Open up the charts. Arrival. This one is not really necessary actually. Approach. RNAV 09. Civil. So as you can see, we're coming from PIMOS there, and then to a waypoint Bukov. From Bukov we go to Golf Bravo 092, and from there Golf Bravo 094. Everything else is in there like so, as in the chart. And from there Golf Bravo 09 Foxtrot with the speed restriction and altitude constraint of 1500 feet and speed constraint 160 knots, all in there. So our routing is completely set up. Alright, let's set up our FMC here for the arrival and performance. There we go. QNH 1011. Temperature, I believe it was 21. Wind 120 at 10 knots. Actually put that in. There we go. Flight level, transition flight level will be 70. First speed is all set, and let's quickly have a look at our minimums. I already forgot, so you probably know it already, you just had the briefing. So you should be shouting at me, it's not that one! Alright, approach 09, there we go, and we've gone set at 374. 374 on the MDA. That's all set, we're ready for our descent and our approach. I will be back with you as soon as we are turning onto that approach, and we'll continue with that step by step from there. We'll see you very soon. Alright guys, welcome back. As you join me here on the approach, we're just flying over Pimos now. So we're getting ready for the RNAV approach for runway 09 into Gibraltar. Plane is fully set up. I selected medium auto brake, manual speed at the moment. Approach phase is actually activated. We're passing through some thick layer of cloud here, but that's alright. We have a TED of 20 degrees, so anti-ice is absolutely not necessary. We're a little bit high on profile there, but that's okay. You can always descend a little bit more if needed. So actually let's reduce our altitude here and let's set our local QNH of 1011. That's all done. And we're inbound to Bugov as expected. For Bukov we will start to decelerate. Remember, Golf Bravo 09 Foxtrot, we need to be at 160 knots at the minimum and at 1500 feet. So let's continue a little bit down the approach, and from there we'll make the turn and fly her visually inside. I absolutely hope that this visibility will clear up a little bit. It should be fine. Looks like we're still flying through some thick layer of cloud here. As you can see at Bukov, there is our decel point, and 160 at 1500 knots at Golf Bravo 09 Foxtrot is already set into the FMC, or I should say MCD. This is an Airbus. And once we're on approach, I will actually activate manage speed, and the aircraft will handle that by itself. We're not using a landing system here, since this is an RNAV arrival, and you will only use that actually for a ILS arrival. We will use our vertical and lateral guidance there. So still quite dropping fast the altitude, and it's too bad actually we have no visual of the rock yet. It should be right there, right somewhere around there. You can slightly maybe see it, not really good. It's a bit unfortunate, but we'll manage. Proper IMC conditions this one. We're gonna rely on our systems here. So let's reduce our speed. Let's put her down at first to our green dot speed, our minimum flap protection speed here, and then start lowering our flaps as well. And in the meantime, it's a little bit of that. There is the rock actually already. We have a visual good. Now I wonder how good the simulation of the wind's gonna be, since this is not live weather, and actually I put it in there myself, so not quite sure if that's gonna be anything that's gonna be very nice. We'll see. And we can now set 1500 feet as well. So we'll start to reduce speed now, exactly as planned, so it's good. 204 knots. We will reduce, or we will lower flaps setting 1, config 1. It's nice. There's the rock. So we actually have some visuals. Okay, flaps 1. Match the speed to the slot speed. There we go, 184. The aircraft will make the turn by itself. It's RNAV arrival, so let's arm the speed brake. And it's still a little bit early to go flap 3 already, but we can do actually. Let's go flap 3, gear down. Go down to 160 knots as is the requirement. That's checked. Right, landing gear down, 3 greens. And let's go to manage speed now. And you'll start to reduce the final approach speed there. Okay, flaps full. We're looking good. We're just a little bit on the high side here, but that's alright. As you'll be pitching down for that. Let's select, we're gonna, 1500 feet. Then we're gonna set our minimums here. So we're flying this. And let's select our minimums. Let's put 400 there. Now we're turning inside. I have a visual of the runway, so let's get manual. There we go. Now we have our vertical and lateral guidance right there. We're just basically gonna follow that. It says we are a little bit on the high side, but that's alright. Don't see any puppies yet. And this is the difficult part of a desktop simulator. Yeah, you don't really have a visual outside. Oh, and there's the wind pushing us already. Let's see if we have the runway inside. Yeah, there's the runway. Good. Need to go a little bit down there. Now, actually, in real life, you'll be steering or aiming for a white flashing buoy. And so far in X-Plane, I did not see that buoy yet. I think we're a little bit low here. Now waiting for those puppies. You see how the wind is actually pushing us away here. We're a little bit high. Now steering that nose into the wind. We have a crosswind on arrival. There we go. Don't want to get too low here. Okay, we're looking good. A little bit more to the left. But I'm full flaps. Shit, I was not full flaps. For some reason. Ooh, and we're down. Full reverse. Bit firm there, but that's alright. Got the crosswind 60 knots, cancel reverse, manual brake. And let's vacate there. And shortly I'll be parking the aircraft now. And now let's look at the replays and we'll be discussing a little bit more from there as well. So I'll see you guys in a bit for the replay. Alright guys, welcome back. I open up the replay here. And let's have a look from outside what actually is happening. So here we're gonna make the turn towards the runway. We will be seeing how the wind is pushing us away. What I really don't understand is why they were shouting me that I wasn't flap 3 actually. I thought I was flap full. Must have missed something right there. So don't pay attention to that, do it better than me. Let's put flap 4 already config 4. So here we're making our turn. Remember, just follow your vertical guidance there. Aiming for that touchdown zone. And as soon as the puppies are coming into view, you can use them. You can see here clearly how the wind is really gusting us and pushing us away a little bit. So in the turn, you'll be turning, or you've got the wind from your side and you actually need to turn a little bit faster there in order not to overshoot it. Now here I'm correcting for that crosswind. See, the crosswind is pushing me away, so I a bit overshot the turn there. Now we're coming into land here. Still looking good here in terms of height. See how we are drifting away there just a little bit. Alright. And then final just before touchdown, flare and get that rudder in. And straight on the money. The wind was dropping in just a little bit, but that's alright. So yeah, that's actually quite a nice landing. We landed just on the spot where we wanted. That's the most important thing. Right there. In the touchdown zone. Perfect. So yeah guys, thank you very much for watching. And I hope this was useful for you. This is of course my first tutorial, so I hope to get a little bit better at this as well. So far, if you like the content, then don't forget to subscribe and like the video. And if you want to ask any questions, go ahead, feel free to let some questions down below in the comment section. And if you want to join the fun live as well, there's a link in my profile. You can follow it to my Twitch panel and follow me there. And of course during there you can always ask me anything regarding to flying, and as far as I know or I can, I will help you guys out. For now, thank you very much for watching, and see you next time.